Hello, once again, this is Brother Teacher. I would like to share something with those of you that are martial arts practitioners, martial artists, enthusiasts, and so forth, about something that's to some very great degree controversial, and that's about ranking in martial arts, more specifically the master ranks. In this world in which we live, as far as martial arts is concerned, it is so segregated. You have the Asian martial arts systems and styles that most of us are familiar with in America, that come from China, Japan, Okinawa, Korea, more properly, and then others. There are ways in which to distinguish a person's level of proficiency in those arts, if you will, from the time that they began and the time that they have progressed through up until even the present. And there are some traditional arts that have assigned rank, and notably they've called that rank in some systems master rank, and even grandmaster rank. But what I want to mention here today is really the master rank. What exactly is a master, traditionally speaking? To be very honest, when one masters something, it means that they have mastered the basics. That's what it really means. The basics of what, teacher? As it relates to martial arts, basic techniques, the science, the structure, the techniques, again, and even knowing the history. But the history doesn't mean anything, and the theories don't mean anything if they're not applicable, if you cannot apply them. In my mind, I don't think it's necessary, and don't believe it should be necessary to, for example, amass a whole lot of information just for the sake of amassing information and just to say, I know this history and I know that history. You should, on some level, be able to proficiently display is what I'm saying. And if you can't display how something works in a particular martial arts style or system, then maybe your mastery should be questioned. But going back again, fundamentally speaking, mastery is really a matter of knowing very proficiently, that is, the basics of the system. Because you can only do so much beyond the basics. There's going to come a time when all of us are going to age and we won't be able to do the things that we once did very well as a young person when we get older. So now, outside of that, if there are masters in the same school, those masters should be delegated some position. I was going to do two videos on this subject, sort of similar. And what I'm getting at is this. If you have a martial arts school, speaking hypothetically, and you have 100 participants, students from the lowest rank, white belt or novice, all the way to black belt and master, how many masters do you need under one roof? And if you have, for example, 5 or 10 masters, why do you have that many masters under the same roof in the same school? And those other masters, or all of those masters, are not teaching something specific or specifically different than one another. I can understand, for example, if you have one master that has been delegated to teach ukemi, throws, falls, locks, holds, from a jiu-jitsu standpoint, judo if you will, that might be their expertise. That's one example. And another master under the same roof might be someone who teaches sparring, self-defense, and kicking techniques, if you will, that the other master is not that well versed in. I could see that. But when you have 5 or 10 masters under the same roof and they're just there, that's not really good. They should all have a position. It's kind of like having several cooks in the kitchen. There's going to be some clashing at some point in time. Who's the person in charge? Do you get what I'm saying? Now let me take it a notch up. Grandmaster. More specifically is what this video is concerned about. A grandmaster, what a grandmaster actually is, in the true sense of the term, grandmaster, it's the person who's the founder of the system or of the style. There should only be one grandmaster under the same roof as it relates to a school. Why do you have 5, 6, 7 grandmasters in the same school? There's no reason for it. Unless, again, as I pointed out with the master ranks, speaking in general, those masters have a different talent or a different skill set or a different art that's part of the conglomerate, if you will, and they're teaching in that capacity. But what I have noticed over the years, past several decades actually, is that there are a lot of people in one system, one style. They all do the same exact thing, and you have several grandmasters under the same roof. What should be done in the traditional sense of things is that when a grandmaster of a system who is the founder, he or she should give those other grandmasters a school. They should be set off into their own school under the same system or style. That's the way it should be. Because you don't need several grandmasters under the same roof. Now, I'm going to give you an example, a great example, and that's me, myself. I am the founder of this particular system that I created many years ago based on my 50+ years in several disciplines. And my system is called Jin and Do. I am the founder. There is no other founder. It's me. It's I. So I'll never have another grandmaster in my system until I pass on. And that will be the person that's taking my place. Do you get my point so far? So if I'm the founder, I'm the grandmaster. And that's the only proper way to have a grandmaster in a system, is that you are the highest ranking person. This might be controversial with some people and how you have come. It is what it is. But in a traditional sense, the person who founded the system is the only grandmaster. Now he or she may have masters under him or her. That's it. And no one should be pushing towards becoming a grandmaster under that same system unless that is given to them by the grandmaster or the founder of the system. And once that's done, it should be contingent upon, when I pass or when that founder passes, this person is going to take the mantle from there. And they will be the grandmaster, and then it goes on in succession after that. You follow? But to have a school, can you imagine walking into a martial arts school or training hall and there's 200 students and 6 grandmasters and they're all doing the same thing? That's not the way it's supposed to be. Those grandmasters, outside of the founding grandmaster, those other grandmasters should not be under the same roof. They should be sent out to open their own school under the same organization or under the same system. That's the way it's supposed to work. Now, a master will get older. A grandmaster will get older. And they may not be able to do the things that they did, again, as I said before, that they could do when they were much younger. That is why you teach your katas or your hungs to the next following generation, to keep it alive. And in this day and time, we have video, we have YouTube, we have books, and so forth. We can catalog our system to keep it alive. So you have those younger guys in your system or style. They do the forms, they do the techniques and so forth, and you catalog those things for future generations. You don't just simply let it die with you unless there's no one worthy of passing it on. That's an exception to the rule, as it were. So there are other grandmasters who are founders of their system or their own system. Grandmaster Ed Parker, rest in peace, he created American Kempo. So he's actually the founder of American Kempo. I don't know how it was when he was living, but rightfully, there should never have been any other grandmasters under the same roof as him teaching American Kempo. If he had someone that he promoted to grandmaster, he would send them to another school. That's the way it's supposed to be, so that that person can grow, so that that person can learn how to take over that system and or style from the master, the chief master, if you will. Now, it might sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but masters are not just there for ornamental purposes, just to be hanging out with their thumbs in their belts, just to say I am a master and I have this many years in. That means absolutely nothing. Masters and grandmasters should be working until the day they die, till you can't do it anymore. I don't believe in the idea of retiring from being an instructor. Instructors don't retire. I've never retired. I'm 62 plus years old. I've been in the martial arts for 52 plus years. And do you not know, I have never had a break in martial arts since the day that I started at the age of 10. I've been constantly active. And all martial arts instructors, masters, grandmasters should be the same. This is not something that you retire from. Martial arts, as I learned as a child, it's a way of life. And it has been my way of life all of the time that I've been here on this planet. And it's going to be my way of life until I can no longer do it. Irrespective of the arthritis and so forth, I still continue on. I still teach. That's really it. So now I'm going to encourage you today. If you are a black belt, you must train. It never ceases. You don't go and sit down and say, once I've got my Shodan or my Dan rank, I'm done. It doesn't work that way. Because if you want to quit like that, you were never serious in the first place. Real martial artists don't ever contemplate quitting. And they never quit at all. Not real martial artists, because that's the hardest thing in the world to do. This is how we know who's sincere and who is not. Look at who's still here when you look at the ranks. Look at who's been here since day one when you look at the ranks. If that person is still there and they're still grinding, that's the true martial artist. That's the true master. That's the true grandmaster. So again, every original founder of any martial arts system or style is the grandmaster of that system. And there's only one. Should only be one. There was one Bruce Lee who created Jeet Kune Do for himself. And he has people who have followed behind him, but he's the grandmaster. Ed Parker was another one. Grandmaster Ron Van Cleef is another one. Florendo Vistastation was another one. Grandmaster Moses Powell, Dr. Powell was another one. And you know, the list goes on. But if you are a grandmaster, you really should have been the founder of that system. But if you are a grandmaster under another umbrella or system or style, and you're not the founder per se, you really should have a school of your own. Someone should have sent you out on your own so that you can do all of the work of a grandmaster. That's it. And that's all. I hope that this message was inspiring to you. But before I part, let me say this much. I don't believe that a master or grandmaster in the martial arts should defile their bodies. Now, this may not be true for everyone, and I know it's not, because we all came our own different routes and or paths in this thing. But I've never smoked cigarettes, never drank alcohol, and I've never done drugs, marijuana, any of that. All my life, never have done it. And I don't believe in it now. I know that there are some who have done it and who have quit once they started martial arts. But there are some that still maintain those bad habits today. That's not indicative of a master. That's not what a master should be. If you're promoting health and fitness, and that is part of your martial arts regimen, it should be, right? Don't you teach your students that when they walk in the door, or your prospective students? We're going to help you get in shape. We're going to help you lose weight. We're going to teach you self-defense. These are all of the things that we want to share with you. But you have to be a good example first, masters and grandmasters. And hanging out in the clubs, getting high, getting toasted, getting blizzed, all of the other adjectives, whatever. That's not good. That's not good at all. It's never has been. And what's funny is that you're going to have those people who are going to attack what I'm saying. The only reason that anyone in the martial arts community would ever attack what I'm saying is because maybe a little light is shining on them, and it makes them uncomfortable because they actually know the truth. And they're happy and satisfied the way that they've been living. Because it takes some work. It takes some dedication. And it takes passion to really do the thing the way the thing is supposed to be done. That was all I had to say. That was it. And that was all. As I always say, may Yahweh bless and keep you. He loves you and I love you. And so long.